What's good, Joe? Welcome to my review for this week's episode of Attack on Titan final season. As you guys can see, yes, ladies and gentlemen, rejoice! New footage! Finally, no more of the same AOT footage I've been using basically since all season 4 because, as you guys know, my hard drive died and all my AOT footage died with it. Had to reuse footage by downloading all my older reviews and muting the audio. But yeah, I actually just found out when I went to go and get the Stranger Paradise demo for Final Fantasy Origins, you know, the new Final Fantasy game, Chaos. I'm going to kill Chaos. You know, that game. While I was looking for the demo, that I saw that AOT 2 got a demo, so I was like, oh, sick. I got the demo. That means I can play it and get some new footage for like the last couple of reviews. And so, yeah, man, got some new footage for you guys. Also, sorry if you guys can hear anything else going on in the background, like, because, like, the people whoever living above me, I don't know what the hell all this rumbling sounds are going on. They doing something. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I've been hearing, like, just started hearing all these, like, rumbling sounds from, like, the room above me. Don't know what that's about, but sorry if you guys can hear it. But, yeah, so, yeah, new footage of AOT. Good. It's good. It's a good thing, man. But, back onto the actual episode itself. This episode was fucking amazing, man. Like, yo, shout out to the entire... What the fuck is going on? Everyone's making noise. Goddamn. I don't know if y'all can even hear any of this shit, but not certainly. But anyway, as I was saying, this episode's phenomenal, man. Major shout outs go to the entire cast, man. All the performances throughout the entire episode were phenomenal, man. Especially from those two guys that that got caught that were captured or were in a standoff with Armin and Connie, man. Shout out to them, man. You guys will definitely be getting the double reactions to this episode when it airs on Toonami. And yeah, we finally got to see Annie back in her Titan form, which that was nice to see, man. That was nice to see. And yeah, without further ado, boys, let's just jump right into the actual episode. So we start this episode off with Sasha as well as the commander looking into like this like telescope thing, like it's a fucking pirate movie, you know, and finding the boat there and finding the flying boat, and they're wondering why they haven't already destroyed it. And most likely Sasha says, or not Sasha, Sasha's dead. Hanji, excuse me. Hanji says most likely they want to use the boat for themselves in order so that they can use it to you know explore the continents after the rumbling is completely finished and explore the lands. But they most likely find out, and they most likely don't think that that they don't know whether or not they're dead or not. But if she does say that, if they know that they are there at the harbor wanting to take the flying boat, which I'm actually which actually looks exactly like because we see a little bit later on in the episode like what's available for public information type things that are always in the title cards of the commercial breaks where we actually see the full design of it. I don't know if we ever saw the design of it back in the first half of season 4 when they were building it or not, but it basically looks like one of those boats that or not boats, those planes you see that can land on water like we saw in the Dark Knight that got moved over to China. Little off topic, but yeah, I thought that was interesting. I thought that's what the design's for. I wonder what those planes are like actually called. Like those types of planes. Any flight guys, in the comments, leave in the comments. I'm very know what the actual terminology is for these types of planes that can land on water. Anyway, getting off topic. So she says that most likely, if Hanji says most likely they know that they're at the harbor wanting to get the flying boat, that they're gonna destroy. Which honestly, the way she said it sounded like a mission in like the game, like a stealth mission. Like, oh, you cannot get caught, otherwise this thing will get destroyed, and you fail the mission. If you get caught, you have to restart. It honestly had that kind of setup to it. I don't know if maybe y'all felt like that too, but that's how it felt to me. It kind of had that similar gaming set, which I don't know if I mentioned before. The Final Fantasy Origin demo, you guys will be getting a stream of it. I will be streaming it this week, since this week is spring break, so you guys will be seeing a stream of it. I don't know when I'll be streaming it, but I'll be streaming it. So look out for that, guys, if you're curious, and you guys are looking forward to that. Anyway, so they eventually get back down there, and then she says that most likely that's still going to be trouble, that she said they're just still trouble trying to get them out, even with the 9 Titans that they have available. The Kark Titan, the armor, and the female Titan, as well as the Colossal Titan from Armin. So then they all get down there, they're all suiting up, and it's nice, it was cool, it was actually kind of weird, but also kind of cool at the same time to see Annie and Reiner back in like the ODM gear, because we haven't seen Reiner in the ODM gear since season 2. Annie since season one, the first half, if that. And it was kind of cool to see them back in their old gear, man. Back in the old gear. It was nice. It was nice. Little nostalgic throwback, if you will, back to season one. So, that was cool. That was cool, man. That was cool. But anyway, so most of they're trying to figure out what the plan is going to be. Annie, of course, is just like, fuck it, kill everybody. Just go in there and mop the floor with these guys in the ODM gear. And I believe, and Peak act or no, she mentions the Mega stuff, something about like she goes on to like, oh, even though the Azumata Vito are your direct descendants, it doesn't care. We gotta take them out. We gotta kill them, or not protect them. And then it's actually Peak that says, actually, it'd be bad if the Azumata Vito were the ones that were not taken, because of course they need them to pilot the damn thing. As in Yakupo mentions that he can fly, but without their mechanism, it's not going to be able to work. You can't just extend the wings out to fly. You're going to need them help you over to make it so it can actually get some airtime and go up in the air. So we know that Yakupo can fly the thing, but they're going to need a bit more help in order to actually get the thing in there. So they need to protect the Azumata Vito, but of course she also with the Jaegerists, they obviously Jay's like, oh, let me guess, you also don't want us to kill the Jaegerists too? And John's like, no, I don't want to kill them. Some of them were our buddies from training. And she's like, oh, please. She's like, let me guess, you want us to try and secure these guys while protect the Azumata Vito and not kill it. Annie obviously is not subscribing to this idea. She doesn't care. She'd rather just kill everyone indiscriminately, which Vegas has said that most of the Azumata Vito would get in the crossfire if they did fire indiscriminately. So then she says, Armin, tell us your plan. Tell us your grand plan, like you did when you cornered me, which I'm assuming she's referring back to season one. I don't remember exactly what happened in season one, because like I said, I haven't seen that season in God knows how long. But yeah, I'm assuming she's referring back to season one when Annie revealed herself to be the female Titan, and she was laughing like a mad woman. Anyway, after that, Peak is the one that says that this plan doesn't exist, and that we're either got to get this done in one go and get it done then, or we're going to lose the flying boat. And so that's when Connie steps in there, and he's like, how? Why do we have to do it like this? Why is it we're supposed to save people? Why is the first thing we get part of this plan is to kill people? Why? And then that's when Annie says, you're right, you have no obligation to be a part of this, nor any obligation to make this hard choice. If you guys were in our shoes when we reached the wall, you probably wouldn't have decided to reach the wall. This is when Reiner gets a flashback to what Eren told him in the first half of season 4, which I swear it looks different here in the flashback compared to the actual episode. I don't know if I'm going crazy, or is this whatever filter they put on it during this episode because it looks different. I want to say they maybe like reanimated it or something, because it looked different from how it was. Like I said, I could be wrong, and it's just like whatever filter they put on top of it. But that I noticed that, and I thought this looked a little weird. I don't know if anyone else noticed that, or that's just me, but yeah. And so Eren says, as I thought, we're one and the same. And that's when Reiner's like, oh, so that's what he meant. I'm assuming what he meant by that, what Eren, I guess, meant by that, is that they both will have massive body counts. Like, Reiner decided to breach the walls and kill hundreds, if not thousands, of people within the wall. Shiganshin, I believe, is the one that got broken in. If I remember correctly, when Eren's mom died and everything. Wow, Eren is also going to be killing millions because of the Rumble. I assume that's what he's referring to with the fact that they both are going to have massive body counts from this one act this one act that they have done. That's what I'm assuming is what they're referring to. I could be wrong on that, and he could refer to something completely different, but I think that's what he's going at. I think that's what he's referring to. I don't know. I could be wrong. Anyway, Reiner continues on saying, you guys have that there's no reason for you guys to be here. Just watching the safe location together with Gabby and Falco and Wolf and because of the Jaegers will find you guys will be forced to decide whether you want it or not. But he just keeps telling them, do not get involved. Then Connie's like, oh, so now you want us to just stay on the sidelines while you guys just kill each other. And that's when Hanji comes down there along with the commander, the general or whatever, saying that she has no interest in being a spectator, that she's already killed four Jaegerists anyway, so she's already got blood on her hands. So then she comes down there, and then that's actually when they met where Hanji mentioned that they saw the massive like cloud of steam was like coming from the lost time, saying that they're most likely that they're already in the continent of Marlia, and most likely the northeast cities, I believe is what she said, have already been annihilated. And she's like, so God knows how many lives have already been lost. And as she's saying this, the commander is marching over to Yelena before he grabs her by her mouth, covering it, and then like puts his foot on top and like stomps his foot and like presses his foot against her arm, and then slowly just starts adding more and more pressure on it, pressing more down and down on her arm, basically until it snaps. So you have to be like, where is Aaron's destination? You know, going into his inner Christian Bale. And like, I'll keep breaking your arm until you tell me. And then eventually it stopped, judging from the sound. It sounds like he completely snapped her arm. And she's like starts screaming and like moving her legs all around there. And then it's I believe, yeah, Hanji, that basically Hanji and Yakupo that tells him, hey, stop it, humanity has limited time, we can't be sitting here torturing her, we gotta get the flying boat first before, we do all this. So then, that's when the commander notices Gabby, who looks like she was trying to get down. I'm not really sure what was going on in this scene, just because, like, we don't really see anything else from it. Gabby just kind of looks down like she's surprised she got caught or something. Like, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if she was trying to like get down there, maybe saying like, hey, she wants to help out. Not really sure what Gabby's plan of attack was or what the hell this part of the scene was going for. Anyway, this is when the commander goes over to Connie, Armin, Mikasa, and John, and it actually starts apologizing to them for his action for what he said last night, and that he was talking flippantly about justice, and that he tried to justify his own action because he was scared to reflect on himself, saying that this isn't your responsibility. And he goes over to Andy, Reiner, and Peak, saying like, hey, this isn't your that's their responsibility to hold this hate to have all this hatred on your backs. Then we shouldn't be like forcing the sins of thousands of years ago onto the current generation, but we still have a responsibility to remember this foolish blood-stained history and tell it to the next generations. And of course, Aaron is trying to erase that. So then he straight up bows down, begs them to overlook his foolishness just now, and basically just is apologizing to them, which that was pretty surprising to see. I think we were all surprised to see the commander actually bow down and actually apologize to these filthy island devils, as they call it. And so, actually, interestingly, Armin is the one that speaks up first, and he says, I refuse. Which I was like, oh, shit. Damn, Armin. But then he says he refuses to stay here with clean hands, which I'm assuming he means by that, like, I'm coming with y'all. I'm coming with y'all. So then we cut over back to the actual harbor itself with Flouch and the Azumati Bito. So Flouch says, look at this steam. Has history ever been as dramatically changed as it has today? And so it says, and of course, we will make no exception for Azumati Bito. For Hizo, excuse me. Every last trace of its civilization will be wiped clean and reborn as a new land, free of its troubles. And so then we kind of they like put a shoulder over on Azumati Bito. I don't know. I also completely forget about what this woman's name was. Was it Azumati Bito, or was that like the name of this like group she works for? I don't remember, honestly. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, he puts her hands on her shoulder and be like, all you have to do is contribute to this island. Unfortunately, we have Izura's best engineers are here after all, and if you don't want to lose any more men, that is. And then as we see that, as he says it, as we see the Jaegers tracking away 2 dead bodies, which I'm assuming were two of the engineers they had. So he says you better make sure they do what they're told. And so that's when she speaks up, saying like, I'm sorry to interrupt you when you're in such a good mood, but what's this change you're so happy about? If you believe that parity is finally safe, you're wrong. The bloodshed will continue. All you're doing is making your world smaller. And then Flouch says, well, I appreciate your warning, but what's important now is to know one's place. And then he presses his gun on her head, because of course he does. And he says, we don't need your technology. All we can say is that it's too good for us, and then we can just nip this unease in the bud, which honestly, you guys might feel that's incredibly stupid. Like, hey, you have this advanced technology. advanced, quote unquote, for this time period anyway. And you're like, nah, let's destroy it. Like, I get it, you don't want it to be used against you by your enemies, but at the same time, like, bro, you have advanced technology that you know basically nothing about. These people, the only ones that know anything about it, know how to build it. So yeah, let's just destroy it. Kind of sounds good. If you ask me, that's kind of stupid. If you ask me, but whatever. Whatever. Anyway, so then he says again, what's important is to know your place. And they start to slowly pull against the trigger, but that's when Armin starts screaming, Flouch! Flouch, where are you? And this is when we get to see what Armin's grand plan was. And I'm like, bro, what the hell are you planning? Why are you already making your presence known to the enemy? So Flouch opens the window and he's asking like, "Yo, what the hell's going on over here?" And so Armin tells them that the car titan is that they're chasing after the car titan. They fled south. They have the armored with them, and then we need to get the Osmani Beetle mechanics out there and get the flying boat ready. So. And so he's like telling and then Armin keeps going on. He's like, "Oh, and they killed John and Yakupon too. My man's got tears in his eyes. Everything. Seriously, man, like, yo, the Oscar for best performance by an anime character goes to Armin here. Somebody give my man an Oscar. Somebody give my man an Oscar for his impeccable acting." He got the tears in his eyes and everything, man. Armin, he was prepared. He was a man with a purpose. So anyway, Connie's the one that actually finds the boat itself, and he rushes out there with Connie to go get over to the boat. As he's screaming to Flowskill, "Get the mechanics ready! Why you guys just stand there? We need to stop the We need to stop the cart titan." And so he gets over there, and he runs. So he runs over to the other side of the harbor where the boat is finally at. Well, once they finally get there, there's these two soldiers that were there, and we see the boat, and we see like the plane itself, but they actually have strings of sticks of diamond wrapped all around, obviously, and they've got a detonator and everything. You know, they're obviously ready to blow this shit up. So they're obviously trying to get them to stop, to disconnect it. Obviously they don't want them to blow it up. So as they're charging after them, they tell them to stop. Their names are Daz and Samuel, and so that's their moms, and like I said, Armin is telling them, hey, we need to get out of here. We need to chase after the remaining Marleys, escape by sea. Yeah. And so then one of them is like, hey, hold on. Actually, there's suspicion that you two are working with Marlia, and are trying to stop the rumbling using the flying boat. First off, how the hell did they obtain this information? Who's the snitch? How do these guys know they're working together with Marlia and they're trying to stop the rumbling? Like, does anyone else find this odd that they got the whole thing down pat this quickly? Like, bro, who's the snitch? Is Gabby the snitch? Is Falco the snitch? Is the commander? Is he the snitch? The general? Who is the snitch? Or are they just lucky? Because I found that incredibly bizarre that they knew exactly that there's the suspicion of what they're doing, and that's basically what they are doing. So then both Armin and Connie are like surprised. Both of them know that they just shit themselves. Like they just realize, oh shit, the jig is up. So, but somehow they managed to play it off. They actually managed to play it off pretty good. Where Connie says, how could we ever do something like that? That's right. That's right. What would become this island if we betrayed? And then the dude was like, yeah, we're finally saved. I don't know what I would do if you two betrayed us. And did anyone else get the weird sense that both these two, both these people almost knew that each other was lying? Did anyone else get that? Because it kind of just with their facial expressions and how they're talking and everything, it just kind of feels like they both know each other's lying or something. But I guess not, because the dude eventually does indeed actually disconnect the detonator. And I love one thing I found. Once again, this episode proves why I say AOT has the most expressive eyes in anime, because we just see both of Connie and Armin's faces. They're both kind of a little bit smiling. Their eyes and you just see their eyes just dark, move downward over to the detonator while they're both trying to keep their poker faces up, which nothing of them were really particularly good. And like I said, the camera angles in this part of the episode were fantastic as well. And also, I gotta say, the OST in this part of the episode, man, fantastic, man. Fan-fucking-tastic work, man. So, they eventually disconnect the detonator. Armin and Connie still look like they've shit themselves. And they're like, hey, what's going on? We disconnected the detonator. And then we see, both Armin turn his eyes over to, the building itself, being like, yo, that everything goes to plan. All we need to do now is just have the Abzabandito mechanics come in there. We need to then find a way to get everyone on the boat, and we can get in there and go over to where the Founders is without any unnecessary bloodshed. And by this point, I'm like, yo, this plan might actually work. Armin's plan might actually work, and there might not be a speck of blood. But as we know, they will go. So then we get back to Flouch, and he's starting to suspect that something is up. Why would they? Why would they chase after my boyfriend really faster by locomotives? And he's starting to suspect there might be something behind the scene, but he has no proof. And then he says, "I really should miss the button." And then he points his gun over at the mechanic, and then that's when we see a chair fall down, and we hear like 3 or 4 gunshots go off. And this is when Armin and Connie really look like they've shit themselves because they're like, we failed. But then we see that the woman is actually the old woman actually tackled him down, locked his arm up, and she's like, "I'm not dying without a fight." 2 more of the Jaegers come in there, but that's when Mikasa comes in there, busting through the window and just annihilates both of them there. Fucking amazing there. So then Flouch manages to get out there using the ODM gear, gets through the window, and he screams that Mikasa, Armin, and Connie have betrayed are working with Marlia to kill them. And then we actually once again see a little bit more of that with studio budget, where we see a bunch of the Jaegers jump off from the building and start with the thunder spears and go over towards the main building. Looked amazing, man. The animation was phenomenal in this episode. Along with the voice acting, I would definitely say this is probably some of the best voice acting in the entire series from multiple characters. Not just one performance that was really good from one, but the entire cast of this episode was fantastic, man. Especially those 2 that voice Daz and Samuel. Their performances were great. Anyway, they get out there, shit's blowing up, and shit's blowing up, shit's on fire. Mikasa's taking care of the Jaegers. Eventually, Hanji and the General come in there. They take out a couple more Jaegers. They tell them that we need to get down the basement and to come with us if you want to live. Yes, quoting Terminator 2. You love to see that. You love to see it. So anyway, we get back over to the harbor, and the dude obviously goes back and reconnects the detonator. Armin's trying to stop him, but then one of them ends up shooting Armin 4 or 5 times. There's a shit ton of bullet holes here. Y'all will see my reaction. I lost my shit. I'm thinking, yo, are they killing off Armin again? And this time permanently. Are they actually going to kill off my man Armin? Is he actually dead? So anyway, we see that Armin is indeed still because he coughs on some blood, but we also see he's missing half his teeth, probably from the gunshots. But anyway, we then see that he's once again he's pointing his gun at Connie, and he's like, didn't we make a promise that we get more land to make meat together? It's why is this happening? And I also love how the show this part of this shot right here in the episode where it's a close up of the dude's eye, but then you see the depth of field go from his eye over to the gun. Thought that looked really cool, man. I am curious though, how the hell do you do depth of field with animation? Because it's all drawing. It's not just a slider on the camera. I'm very curious, how does anime studios do that? That's just something I know. So I was like, God damn, that's a good use of depth of field. But how the hell do you do it with animation? Because you're not using a camera. But anyway, little tangent for a film student aside. Anyway, we get back to the basement. We got them all going down the basement. You got them trying to defend the Asamabito. They're saying that they should get out there because they'll probably get trapped in there, but they won't. But they have not relented. We didn't see more of the Jaegers getting their thunder spears on, blowing up the building, targeting the basement, so that they obviously would get trapped. But then we also see more of that Witch Studio budget, where you have these Jaegers coming around the corner, and then this shot was awesome. This was I was like, yes, finally, the Witch Studio budget is around. Finally, they've got it. Where we see both Reiner and Annie using the ODM gear, flying all around and turning it going over to where the ocean is to transform into their Titan form. And oh my god, it looked amazing. Not Levi amazing like in season 3, but goddamn it, man, it still looked fucking brilliant, man. The animation, legendary, man. God tier. So Flouch Flouch's like, wait, what? And so then we just see them just swatting away all these Jaegers, killing motherfuckers left and right, man. Looked amazing. And Jan Capone realizes that the plan has failed, and Yelena talks to Levi, says you can't separate humanity from violence. So as they're devastating everyone, the dude just Samuel is like reconnecting, or I think this guy was Daz and the other one was Samuel. I don't remember the fucking names. Whoever was who, one of them is the dude's still reconnecting Denner as Armin is slowly crawling over to him, and you see that he's starting to regenerate because something like his front teeth are back. And then so tackling him down to the floor, and so he's trying to stop, and he's trying to keep him from doing this. Connie's work on the other guy. Both of them are trying to keep their guns down. Armin is just like staring into this guy blankly, like, yo, this man be staring into his very fucking soul. And then he pulls a gun at Armin's head and telling them, and he's like, tell him to please stop it, man. The voice acting from both of these guys, I don't know who the fuck is their VAs, but shout out to them both, man. The other guy is screaming to Connie, aren't we friends? And it's so heartbreaking too, man, from the voice acting in the OST. Oh my god, what an episode this was. Such a phenomenal episode. Connie tells them that they are friends, and then that's when Armin remembers something that was something from Bertolt, and then shockingly Connie grabs the dude's gun, fires, kills that other guy, shots like 2 hits, and like kills him. Then he's like, and then he goes to the other guy that he's been staring and dead in the face. He's telling him to stop, and then he fires 3 shots into him. And then, bruh, man, and it's the slow-mo, the blood. And then we just see Connie drop the gun and we hear the final part of this flashback from Bertolt, where it says somebody needs to get their blood on her hands. And we see Connie laying on top of the corpse of his once friend, screaming and crying in agony, man. Oh, the voice acting was so good. Oh, and then the episode just ends. My God, what an ending. What an episode. What a fucking episode. What a legendary episode. Definitely one of the best of this half season for me. Oh, what an episode, man. What an episode. Anyway, man. Next episode preview looks awesome. Hopefully then Slouch meets his demise. Please. Give me that, please, Ishiyama. I'm begging you, man. I'm begging you here, man. But, yeah, man. What an episode, man. What a fucking episode. I would probably say this is probably my second favorite of the second half of season 4, man. What an episode, man. Like last episode 4, y'all are getting the double react to this because I gotta hear Clifford Champion do this, man, because he's the dub voice of Connie, man. And I'm also curious to know who Funimation will get for Samuel and Daze, man. Fucking amazing cast, man. Although I hope, I hope that nothing happens to the AOT dub, because as you guys know, that Crunchyroll and Funimation now merged into one, and everything's going to go with Crunchyroll. We still don't really know what's going to be happening with Funimation shit, like the distribution stuff, as well as the dubbing studio. Hopefully nothing changes, because we still got Hero Aka Season 6 coming out later this year, and I don't want to see anything happen to the dubcast, but we'll have to wait and see what happens in the coming days. But hopefully the AOT dub should not get affected by any of this. But we shall see, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see. Anyway, man, this episode was amazing. Looking forward to when Naruto Tsunami. And yeah, overall, guys, I'm going to give this episode a 10 out of fucking 10, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, as always, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you did. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, Flag, links down in the description box below. And as always, come out for more. See you guys next time.